Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Online Creators Association Thursday night stream. Max isn't here this week, so I am filling in, and we are going to be playing Stardew Valley. I am currently having weird technical problems, and I think I need to uninstall and reinstall the game. But
Nothing like a good technical problem to kick off a live stream. How
yeah,
you know it's working?
Honestly, it's probably me because even when I go to stream on Twitch, every single time I have like a 15 to 30-minute technical difficulties block in the beginning.
yeah, that's just what streaming is.
You build it in, you vamp over it, you make some jokes. No one will notice. It'll be fine.
It's fine. Everything is fine.
Ugh.
So, do we want to go over any updates on just how TikTok's been lately?
So yeah, TikTok suppression is at a alarmingly high rate. So if you feel like you're being suppressed, you are, but so are the rest of us. Most of that is likely just due to the fact that there is a lot of news happening right now between US news and international news that TikTok is trying to keep off the For You page. So it's probably a good time for, like, if you have old drafts that you don't care about, but it's probably not the best time to be throwing high energy, high effort stuff onto the app. And we're still dealing with rampant AI related ban issues. So if you have any of those, please feel free to drop in our Discord and find our Airtable and fill out one of the lovely ban forms. I'm really bad at words today. So that we can actually track it and get a better idea of what those numbers look like and do something with that data. But
Can I just say, as somebody who's a veteran, I did 5 years in the Marine Corps. I don't know how I got out with an honorable discharge. For certain subjects and certain words, it's gonna be a shit show on TikTok for a while. Because there's a lot of veterans and a lot of active duty service members that are processing a lot of things regarding the US withdrawal from Afghanistan, and we're all doing it at the same time. So it's gonna be a little fucky for a while.
but yeah, so just be aware of that. If it is something that you're experiencing, know that you're not the only one, and you're also not crazy. There is a high suppression happening, and my guess is it will probably continue probably into the middle of the month, just given that this is the 20-year anniversary of 9/11. So I'm sure there will be some suppression around that. Just be aware, be prepared for it, and they're still suppressing around Stop Line 3 stuff. So your basic run of the mill TikTok news. How we doing on the Stardew front?
So I'm just going to try and explain the problem that I'm having. While trying to solve the resolution problem, I checked to see what would happen if I switched it to full screen instead of windowed. And now when I try to focus the window, two of my screens go dark for several seconds, and then it minimizes itself again. And because that's the case, I can't change the setting back to windowed.
You just said a whole bunch of technologically important words that I'm sure are sentences to people with the understanding for them. I am just not that person.
I literally work as an IT technician, and everything that was said by Watson made sense. but now I'm just trying to figure out how to help.
Yeah. See, the worst thing is I should understand that because I worked as a tech journalist for, a couple years. But it was very specific to unified communications, so that's my excuse.
I have an idea, but
Mhm.
just humor me. Roll with me here. How difficult would it be for you to disconnect two of your monitors and just leave one?
Not
Even
too
if you're
terribly
just pulling
difficult.
them from the back of the computer. Not the back of the computer, but from the back of the monitors
Yeah.
themselves.
I believe that I can do that.
Okay, so try to do that. Try to launch Stardew Valley. See if it continues to go into windowed mode. And then once you do that, even if it's in windowed mode, usually when you start the game, there's like a box in the room. There's a box in the corner that will let you full screen it. Try using that instead of going through the menu for the full screen option. I almost said, have you tried turning it off and back on again? But that would be super unhelpful. Look, my brain hears tech words and then just goes into work mode.
No, I
I
totally get it. And I've tried uninstalling and reinstalling it, and that didn't work.
the hell am I? Oh, there they are.
I mean, the good thing is the only viewer in here right now is me, so it's not like we're.
All right, yeah, the switching to a single monitor thing worked, and I have gotten it back into windowed mode. Now I just need to get my monitors plugged back in.
You said it's still in windowed mode?
No, I've gotten it back into windowed mode, which is where I need it because full screen mode wasn't working properly.
One second. I connected my headphones and they had no sound. I have to crank them up because I'm hard of hearing. What?
The problem is now solved.
Yay! I helped.
I'm sorry, do we have all three of the hard of hearing crew on at the same time right now?
Probably.
Yes.
Dude, I had to do something for work last week, like last Friday. And was it Friday or Saturday? It was Saturday. Last Saturday I had to go in and do something for my job, like get a specific thing. And I kept telling them when I walked in, hey, I have tinnitus or tinnitus if you watch Archer. I have auditory processing disorder. What I'm saying is I'm hard of hearing. I've had some hearing loss since I was in the military. I need you to speak up. They just fucking didn't. And I was sitting there going,
listen, they made the back to work call for my job. And it's one of those, like, technically it's a government job, so you have to go in. And the only reason that I still get to work from home is because it is cheaper to let me use my at-home setup because I can't hear than it is to have me go into City Hall and then give me all of the accommodations I would need at City Hall, especially because the mask mandate for where I live is back for all public and city buildings. So I really can't hear because I lip read for the majority of what I do.
You can't convince me that that's not why they're primarily letting me work from home, because I told them when I got hired, hey, by the way, I have hearing issues. So you either need to speak up or back up 6 feet and lower your mask, because you can't mumble with the mask on. I will not know what you're saying and I will miss important instructions.
Yep.
And my favorite thing was somebody was like, how did you get in the military? And I was like, well, I wasn't hard of hearing when I went in. There's a reason that it's part of my disability. Yep. Like I'm 80% disabled per the VA, and part of that is tinnitus. And I'm actually about to go back and get re-reviewed because I found out that they are now accepting auditory processing disorder as a result of service-connected disabilities.
Yeah.
As a service-connected disability. So I'm like, y'all are about to pay the shit out of me because I can't hear.
I have a friend who's in the mid-off reviewed again, And they were like, oh yeah, no, like pretty much 100% of all of your issues now falls under it. And like they found a loophole to cut the percentage of disability that they're willing to assign him. And I'm pissed for him because he's like, he has like memory disorders and stuff. He's got back issues, like up everything is wrong. And he's just sitting there like, they just hate me. I work for the VA and they hate me. And I'm like, I don't know how to help you, my guy. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, I had to mute and yell for a second because I feel that on a spiritual level.
Yeah.
Like, I got a whole ass ankle surgery, and they tried to go, oh, well, your ankle issues are not service related. And I literally produced my medical records where I got my ankle surgery, and the surgeon admitted that they'd made a mistake in surgery and used a screw that was too large and chipped a chunk of bone off the back of my ankle. And I was like, you want to try that shit again?
Oof.
I got a service connection. Like, the VA is cheap as hell.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm all set to get back into the game.
Okay. I mean, you can come back in anytime. It's the same code.
All right,
Like, I was waiting.
Okay, there we go. I tried the same code a minute ago, and it said connection failed, but it worked that time.
Okay. I was waiting for you to connect. And also, if I'm speaking loudly into the microphone, please let me know because, again, I can't hear myself.
Your levels sound great to me.
Okay, because, like, combined with this, with the everything else, I can't fucking hear.
No, I feel you. I'm a cookie bite hearing loss kid, so I fully understand the can't hear.
Oh, the spirits are displeased today and they will do their best to make our lives difficult. I should probably share my fucking screen. Ding dong.
You know it's bad when you use TikTok audios to narrate your real life.
I have said ding dong so many times.
Oh.
I've also there's a couple of other TikTok audios that I've used because I try to cycle through the things that I say so I'm not constantly saying I hate it here.
That's fair.
I mean, I do 99% of the time.
I mean, who doesn't in our age range? Like, isn't that just sort of what it is to be in existence at this point in time?
At this point, it is, yeah. I'm black, I'm femme, I live in the US. I hate it here. And I feel like that's fair.
That's probably the most accurate thing I've heard.
I spend a lot of time asking what the fuck other people are doing. And that is part of my job. Like, recreationally, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And my friends are like, there's a Calvin and Hobbes comic. I wish I could share my other screen at the same time to find it, where it's Calvin hammering nails into the living room coffee table. And his mom goes, what are you doing? And Calvin goes, is this a trick question? That's me every day. I'm the mom.
All right. So what are we trying to accomplish in this game?
We're just trying to make a nice farm and have a good time.
All I know is like the last couple of times I was on stream when we were playing Stardew, it was while Max was here, and Max's job was to be trad husband and go to the mines.
I love that this is the second time I've appeared on stream, and I am 2 for 2. Somebody pointing out that Max was trad husband.
Well, that is Max's role. Max is trad husband.
See, I do farming things. I fish. I'll go in the mines, but I hate going in the mines because then something stupid happens every single time. Like,
I'm pretty good in the mines, but I mostly like fishing.
I would just like to make enough money to get the bigger backpack, which I don't believe in co-op that one of us purchasing the bigger backpack will roll over to the others.
It does not. Each of us has to individually purchase it with the same single pool of money.
That's
Which
the
is
dumbest thing I've ever heard.
bullshit.
What kind of communal living is this if you can't freaking share a big backpack?
Right?
Listen,
Like,
we live in America
who
where
lives this
every millennial's dream is to live on a commune with like their chosen family where they can just exist.
It says a lot that millennials as a whole are just like, my family ain't shit. Can I have your? Can I move in
Listen,
with yours?
I will be the first one to say that I'm very lucky. I have a very good relationship with most of my family. I love them. They love me. I still would like to live on the commune with my chosen family.
Oh yeah, no. I love my mom. I love my dad. Like my dad and I had like a rough patch when I was younger for
Me
reasons
too.
I don't want to go into on stream. But like we've mostly resolved that. And while I'm not like I hate using the phrase daddy's girl because there's no gender neutral equivalent, but while I'm not a daddy's girl or whatever, I'm like, this is my dad and I love him.
Yeah,
How
I found that my relationship with my father improved significantly when I moved out of that house.
my relationship with my dad, because my parents, I first of all, I was a whoopsie baby. Like my parents, my mom thought she was my mom thought she was sterile, like because she had endometriosis. She was under the impression that she couldn't have children. Dad thought he was sterile. Don't know why.
And then oopsie.
And then whoopsie. They both just kind of went. My mom, for years, until I could understand that an accident is not necessarily a bad thing, would say that I was an unintended surprise that could have been avoided with effort. Motherfucking fish. God damn it. But
Man.
I was a whoopsie baby first and foremost, and my dad was just kind of he had his issues. My parents weren't married, so I leaned very heavily on my mom for both roles. But I'm pretty sure my dad did his best. It was just that his best sometimes kind of sucked.
It's always weird when you realize that your parents are also just people
Right.
and therefore like also have like the foibles of people.
I will say the funniest thing to me was my 13th birthday. God damn it, fish. And I have the hiccups. I can't win. My 13th birthday party. And I posted this story on the Not Always Right website where it was excuse me. It was like not always related
Mm-hmm.
where you post stories about families. So like you can look and probably find it. But my dad came for my 13th birthday party and like he had one job, well two jobs. One it was to grill the meat. I wish I would stop hiccuping. One was to grill the meat, and two was not to embarrass his child on their birthday. He did one. Like at one point, my dad can't dance. He knows good and hell well he can't dance. He's the reason that it takes extra effort for me to learn dances because it is a constant internal battle between my my mom's rhythm and my dad's lack of rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently at one point he and my uncle had a contest to see who danced the worst, and my uncle won. But anyway, um, my dad is just I love him to death. The man can't dance. And he's remarkably uncoordinated, which is where I get it. But not only did he dance at my 13th birthday party, but he also, I would like to stop hiccuping, please. But he also, in the process of bragging to my mom about how all of the people with our last name or with our family name have good reflexes because it's just genetic. He knocked something over. It was a tea lamp that my aunt owned that had like, I keep stopping because I keep hiccuping. I'm annoying myself. But my aunt had this really neat tea lamp, and my dad, while talking about how great the family reflexes are on his side, smacked the tea lamp and damn near broke it. And then I jumped in, and in the process of him trying to catch it, he knocked over the full tray of grilled meat.
Oh no.
So he reached forward and caught the tea lamp, and then I jumped and I caught the food. And both me and him at the same time looked at what was in our respective hands and then turned to my mom and went, and my mom was like, uh-huh. Family reflexes, right?
To be
Family
fair,
coordination.
you caught it.
I did.
So having good reflexes and being not clumsy are not necessarily the same thing.
As long as I'm not paying attention, my reflexes are great.
Right? It's when you put an effort that there's a problem.
Right. Like if something is just happening near me, I'm like, you. But the minute I try to go, all right, cool, this is it. I'm focused.
Well, it's like there's a TikTok channel, and it's a couple. It's like a married couple, and the wife is just constantly like throwing things at her husband when he's not paying attention, and he catches everything.
I follow them and I love them. Also, changing the subject from the fact that I was an accident with at least one uncoordinated parent. I got blocked by Drake Bell on Twitter today.
Listen, I saw that. I read that in the Discord, and I am so proud of you. Like, that is such a badge of honor.
I did nothing wrong. I will maintain until the end of days that I did nothing wrong.
You technically also were not incorrect in what you said. He did plead guilty, or did he plead no contest?
He pled guilty.
Okay, yeah, he pled guilty to child, not endangerment. It was
child endangerment.
Was it child endangerment?
Mm-hmm.
Why did I think it was like corruption of a minor or some shit? Either way,
I think he pled to child endangerment because the other options sucked less. Can I please stop having the hiccups now?
Listen, if I could scare you through the screen, I would.
That's the thing, is that it doesn't work. I have to do one of those convoluted things where like I hold my breath and I stand on my head and then I would just pray for death.
I always do the thing where like you hold your breath, but then you still engage your muscles as if you're breathing, but because you're holding your breath, it's like it almost has like a vacuumy kind of feel.
Yeah.
Because it helps either calm your diaphragm down or like knock your diaphragm out of whatever spasm it's in.
The worst part is I didn't mean to put that trash in there, but now it's in there, so it's gone. But the worst part is I used to be in chorus. I used to be like a classically trained singer or what the fuck ever. And now I'm just like, is that a very loud cat?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my housemate's cat, and he can sense when recording is happening.
Yeah.
What's his name, and can he appear on camera?
He does not have a name, and no.
I can try and get my cat to
I'm
come
gonna
in.
call him Sherman.
Sometimes Suki likes to be on camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm call because the cat does not have a name. I will be calling him Sherman.
All right.
So now he has a name. His name is Sherman. I'm gonna hold my breath for a minute and like not a literal minute, but I'm gonna hold my breath to see if I can stop hiccuping.
You
Sherman
hold your
is
breath.
pissed.
I will remind people that if they would like to help us fund any of the lovely projects and work that we do at TOCA, we do have a Patreon that you can join, and there are many tiers that you can join at, and that money goes towards things like data collection projects and actually paying people to do the work that needs to happen in order to keep the server running. And there's a couple of our goals are posted on the Patreon. I would talk more about them, but I have worms for brains. So
We're pretty close to hitting our first goal, $1,000 a month, which we are using towards getting a lot of the infrastructural stuff, like the services that we want to offer, organized to a level that we couldn't sustain on a volunteer basis.
yes, burnout is very, very real on a volunteer basis.
Like, I don't think people realize that everybody who's involved in TOCA is like a volunteer. We're here on a voluntary basis. We're not getting paid.
Yes.
Well, we do hope at some point to be able to pay people to appear on the streams.
Yes.
Right.
The idea is that we want to be able to pay some of the people who are doing a lot of that volunteer work, so that we are, paying people to be on stream, paying people to make videos and things like that, because we are at our core technically a labor union, and therefore people should get paid for their labor. And we've already committed to the very, very last people to get paid will be administration. Everybody else will be paid first, because and administration will just work on a volunteer basis until there's funds for that.
Oop, I broke something. Hold, please.
I tried to get my cat to come up here to come on screen, and she is very much not moving from the foot of my bed. She's decided that she's done with my shenanigans. But
I don't think I've ever met a cat that is not like universally done with somebody's shenanigans. The thing is still broken. I just can't reach it right now.
I mean, that's cats pretty much domesticated themselves, because it's easier when people hand you food and shelter, because they think you're cute. But that doesn't mean that they respect us.
So I'm from a farm. Like, my family owns a shit ton of land in Alabama, and we've used the vast majority of it for farming, and then just kind of left the rest to let Mother Nature do what she wants. But we have farm cats or barn cats, depending on where you're from. Some people call them farm cats, some people call them barn cats. But god damn it, fish. You rude thing. Damn it. Anyway, we have barn cats / farm cats. And these cats seem to think that we are all completely incapable of feeding ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
because they will constantly bring us critters that they have prepared for consumption. And the only person that doesn't react poorly is me.
So I live on the ground floor in a city apartment, which means that I also have like a yard, which means we have mice. It's a really old house. Like we're gonna have mice. My cat is a fantastic mouser. She, however, is very bad at killing mice. She likes to catch them and then drop them, wait for them to try to run away, and then catch them again, which is all
Right.
well and
They're
good.
toys.
Yeah, which is all well and good until it's 3 a.m. and you feel something slap you in the face in a dead sleep, and then it starts to move because your cat has thrown the mouse on you.
I I would be traumatized.
Listen, I had a long talk with my cat after that one. I was like, no, never again. This cannot happen again. But yeah.
So like I have 2 dogs. I post about them on TikTok semi-regularly. I have a pit mix named Melly. Well, more accurately a Staffordshire Terrier mix named Melly, and then I have what could be described as a dingo. We did some research, and it appears that he may actually be what's called a Dixie dingo or American dingo, or it's also called a Carolina dog because for some reason Americans don't like to hear the word dingo.
Because we all got really into the dingoes ate my baby thing.
And I can confirm that my goodest boy has not eaten a single baby.
Not a single child.
Not a single baby. None.
Always 2 at a time.
Now, does he like grown ass adult men? Absolutely not. It took him 3 months to get used to Rob himself. And Rob lives here. Like, this poor baby just wanted nothing to do with Rob for 2 or 3 months.
We had a rescue dog like that. And by rescue dog, I mean we rescued him from my hairdresser. My hairdresser had a miniature dachshund who, but my hairdresser was also like this very just high-strung man who could not take care of this dog. So we got to take him home with us one time. And then he was ours, and he was supposed to be a gift from my brother who always wanted a dog. This dog hated men. Hated men. She tolerated my father because my father cooked her eggs every morning. But like, I was sitting on the couch with like my mom on one side and my brother on the other, and we had a blanket on top of us. So the dog sits on my brother because can't tell because blanket. And my brother was so excited and goes to pet her, and she immediately turns around and snaps at him because she is so offended and just like glares and walks over to my mother's lap to sit down because how dare this man touch her.
See, my dog's name is Todoroki, by the way, because I named him before I got further into My Hero Academia. Because here's the thing, I can remember the first name somebody is introduced to me as. Don't ask me to remember the second one. So, despite the fact that his name was very clearly Shoto Todoroki, my dumbass brain went, his name is Todoroki, and then just stopped.
Right.
And this poor idiot is just. I named him Todoroki because he's hot and cold. With literally everyone. Like, he either loves you or he wants you to fuck off into the sun. There is no in between.
I have brought my very not excited to be here cat.
Hi, babies. Hello.
Suki's like, absolutely not. Why would you do this to me?
He's like, why do I have to be the subject of torture?
It's a double-edged sword. It's the, I'm closer to the window, but also you're holding me, and I hate that.
I I have so many pictures of Todoroki where I have to explain in the comments, no, he's fine. He just looks like that because he will look devastated and terrified
I mean, have
at
you
the
seen Cecilia's dog, Max?
Todoroki is like Max, except people for some reason want to argue with me about whether or not my dog is actually traumatized or if he's just stupid.
No.
And I'm like, he's literally just stupid. Like,
Like,
he
I
just
promise you, he's just not bright.
right. Because like what he'll do is he'll come up to me or he'll come up to my partner Rob and he'll like paw at us and nudge at us for us to pick him up. And then the minute that we pick him up,
It's a problem.
yeah, he looks like he is terrified and fighting for his life. And we're sitting there like, you asked. You
Right.
asked for this. It's like when a little kid, like the video of the little girl who said that her parents were like, "Are you sure you want to try wasabi?" And she said no, and then went wasabi. And the end of the video is her going, "Help!" That's my dog. That is Todoroki.
Yeah. Ugh. I just have a cat who, if the door is open all day, wants to sleep on my bed, but God forbid that door is closed. And she will climb you like a tree and cry until you open it. But then she'll just stare at the door.
I
She doesn't
mean,
want to go through it. She doesn't want to actually, she just wants it to be open.
honestly, Todoroki does the same thing. Like he'll hear other dogs doing dog things outside, and he will. So we have to. Both my dogs are crate trained. It's their happy, safe spot.
Yeah.
It's where they go to bed if they're not sleeping in the bed with us because Todoroki is stupid and will eat plastic, and Melly is just stupid. Um, we have. I don't know if you've ever seen the show Two Stupid Dogs,
Yes.
but that's
dogs.
I have. We somehow managed to adopt the Two Stupid Dogs.
You sometimes yell at them you're doing it wrong?
Regularly.
Good.
I'm like, isn't that cute? But what's wrong? But they're I love them to death, but they're just dumb as shit. And my existence is just one long series of going, dude.
See, I am very much an animal person, and I do mean all animals. Like there is not an animal I can pinpoint that I hate. I take that back. Turkeys can get
Hippos.
fucked. I hate turkeys. And it's not
Hippos are assholes.
No, hippos are fine if you leave them alone. They're just territorial.
Okay, but consider the following: geese.
I just okay, geese I will give you. I don't have a great relationship with turkeys. I don't have a great relationship with geese. And I probably wouldn't have a great relationship with swans. So it's really just like the larger birds.
I'm writing down a story to tell you when you're done with telling yours because my aunt got chased.
So you're gonna like this story then. Turkey mating season in the city is really rough in Boston, like really, really rough. So much so that we have to put out bulletins to remind people to like stay away from the turkeys because they will chase you down the street from your bus stop to try and get your sandwich. We had one that decided to make a home on our lawn for 3 days. The problem is that every time we tried to leave the house, it would come at us. So for 3 days, we were basically stuck. Like we couldn't go any further than our porch. So I named him Turkleton P. Jones, and I hate him. He did not pay rent. Until eventually our upstairs neighbor ran him off with like the lid of a trash can. But I was just like, this is ridiculous, and I hate this. I hate this so much.
So had to mute because I was cackling. Because all I could think of was, so Rob's parents are from up north in Pennsylvania. And at one point his mom had a neighbor that had a sign advertising that there was fucking an attack turkey.
Yeah.
Like it would attack cars or whoever they thought was encroaching on its space. It's fucking attack turkey. And then not too long ago, they put up a sign that was just like attack turkey gone. Got by fox.
God. Turkeys are just like, they are probably the dumbest animal, to be perfectly honest. Like, there is nothing in that tiny, tiny brain of theirs.
Turkeys well and truly do not give a single fuck about anything.
No.
But
They just want, all they care about is eating and mating, and that's it.
So my family has this weird history of being chased by birds. I was chased by, or my aunt was chased by a turkey. One of my other aunts who helped raise me was chased by a rooster.
Mhm.
It skipped my mom. She only ever got chased by a dog, and I got chased by a goose.
Maybe the dog was a bird in disguise.
Dog was a bird in disguise. That's what I'm going with.
I
But
was attacked by a goose, not technically chased though.
I don't know how I outran a goose, but I did. So like, what happened with the turkey was my aunt, who was the eldest. She was bothering the turkey. She kind of earned it because she was like throwing some like pebbles or some shit at the turkey. She went up to the turkey and she asked for the smoke and was not prepared for getting it.
Yeah.
And finally this turkey had enough and was just like, well, fuck you then. And what my aunt didn't know was that the turkey was perfectly capable of scaling the fence. It just chose not to.
Yup.
Until it didn't. And it scaled the fence.
Yeah, turkeys can jump something crazy, like, what is it, 20 feet or some shit?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but either way, this turkey was just like, you know what? Fuck around and find out, and decided that was the day. It was
that
going to
turkey's
display.
a Pennsylvania turkey. It's a Philly turkey.
It's not even a Philly turkey. This was in like Alabama.
Listen, it was on vacation in Alabama, but it was a Philly turkey.
But the turkey hops up over the gate and goes after my aunt. So naturally, my aunt does what any reasonable child would do and runs screaming. So she's trying to outrun this fucking turkey. This turkey is in hot pursuit. She tries to go hide with my late Aunt Katie Pearl, God rest her soul. And Aunt Katie went, you antagonized that turkey. You go deal with it.
You made this bed.
Lie in it. She kicked her off the porch.
Oh my god.
And my aunt had to run to the house and explain why the turkey was mad. Then, like, years later, my mom got chased by a dog because I believe my aunt is the eldest. And then it's my mom. And then, like, a year after her was my other aunt. Mom got chased by a goose in a dog costume. And then my aunt got chased by a fucking rooster. And she genuinely did not do anything. Like, my youngest aunt was minding her business, and this goose just went, fuck you. And chased her up the road for God knows how long. And she was just screaming, running and screaming, trying to get away from this fucking goose. And the goose was having none of her shit, even though she hadn't done anything. And She did eventually make it to the house. And then years later, because I'm 28 now, which makes my aunt 56. She turns 57 this month. So like 20 something years later, or 30 something years later, I get chased by a fucking dog. Not a dog, but a goose. And I literally I was feeding this fucking goose. I was being a good noodle. And I was feeding the goose. And this goose, I guess, just suddenly decided to go fuck you and the clique that you claim. It chased me up the street. Hi, honey. What is that?
Be a guinea pig.
Be a guinea pig? The fuck? But yeah, I got chased by a goose while minding my business because I was trying to feed them, and the one goose got mad because I guess it didn't like what I was feeding them, and it was just like fuck around and find out, and chased me up the road to my house while I was screaming and crying.
I don't know. When I was like real little, I was at a daycare center, and we used to go on like we called them van trips because they had a big red van that was like one of those almost like a school bus situation.
Yeah.
And we'd go to Fulton Pond and feed the ducks and get ice cream, and it was real fun. We were feeding the ducks, and I guess someone left like half a loaf of bread in the back of the van and left the van door open. So we're all piling back into the van, and I went to go sit in the back, and there was a goose, and it bit me real hard. So I'm not a big fan of geese either.
Also, like, geese have teeth.
Yes, they do, and it hurts.
Geese have teeth.
There's nothing worse than like pictures of geese with their beaks open, where you can see the tiny, shreddy little. Oh, no, I hate it.
I have argued with so many people about whether or not geese have teeth, and I'm like, they do. Have you not been chased by a pissed off goose?
Having been bitten by one, I can confirm they have teeth.
I was also previously terrified of monkeys because. So what happened was I was like, it was a school field trip. I was in elementary school. I was minding my fucking business, looking at the monkeys, and my classmate, who ended up my fucking, I want to say battle buddy, but that's not the word for a child. Like when they pair you up with somebody and they're like, don't lose each other.
Yeah.
That's what he was. But the word I'm going to use is battle buddy. And he started to fuck with the monkeys. And I was minding my own fucking business, telling him to knock it off. Fucking just watching the monkeys, and one of the monkeys jumped forward and took a swipe at us. Like, both of us. And when I thought, I was like initially I was like, oh, they're taking a swipe at him because he's an asshole. And then the monkey took another swipe at me, and I was like, I didn't even fucking do anything.
Guilty by association.
I really was. And I was like, I don't have anything to do with this shit.
Yeah. There's really no other animals that I'm actually afraid of. Like, I've had a bunch of snakes, so I like reptiles of all flavors. I've had tarantulas before. I don't know.
I can't do spiders.
So I've had roommates who can't do spiders, and I get it. It's just not one of my fears. And also tarantulas and spiders for me are very different. Because like spiders, you lose track of them and they could be anywhere, and that's horrifying. But tarantulas are like small puppies that you can hold in your hand. Like they're very chill. But I don't know. I am also the kid who has been telling my mother since I was 7 years old that I'm gonna die by being mauled by a bear because I'm gonna see a bear and I'm gonna want to hug the bear, and I have poor impulse control.
I'm in a Facebook group called "I Just Know I Will Die" trying to pet something I shouldn't,
Yeah,
because I will.
like I've made peace with it. I'm fine. Just let me love the bear. Let me fulfill my prophecy.
God damn it! I keep picking up my TV on accident. Like honestly, if I pet something that I know I shouldn't, like, don't even cry at my funeral. Just go. They died as they lived. A fucking idiot.
Right? Same. I also so the
Me.
last living situation I was in was what I refer to as too many roommates story time because I lived with 8 people in a house, and at one point we had 27 animals in that house.
I the only person I live with right now is Rob
Uh-huh.
and 2 dogs because I'm allergic to cats, so we can't have one until we find a hypoallergenic one. How?
Well, so I lived with 2 couples and then 2 other single people. And then me, and then we had a floating room where sometimes we had someone living in it, sometimes we didn't. Plus we had an attached in-law apartment which our landlord lived in. And then at any given time we had 7 snakes of different varieties, a bird, 4 geckos, 2 hamsters,
I like geckos.
a frog, 2 turtles, 3 cats, 2 mice. I think I already said the hamster. We had a bird. And we had a tegu. And
A who what?
a tegu. They are really big lizards. Who, if they're brought up properly, are sweethearts. We rescued ours from a shitty situation, and he was an asshole. And I loved him so goddamn much.
Dude, okay,
Oh, and a ferret. We had a ferret.
Okay, so the first time I ever encountered a ferret, it belonged to one of my best friends, and it tried to crawl down my shirt because I had on like a tank. I'm wearing a tank top now under this hoodie, but I had on like a tank top because it was summertime, and I'm a little top heavy. And for some reason, this ferret was just like, drop them out, let me see them titties, and just jumped and was like trying to burrow in my titties, and I was like, "Excuse me, you rude thing."
Yeah. Well, they're playful. They're very, very social.
I don't mind playful. I do mind when playful involves you just like jumping balls deep in my titties.
Yeah, they will do that. They're anything that they can get into, they will get into. Shirts, pants, ventilate anything. My problem is so the roommates that I had is we all had the same issue where if we saw an animal in a bad living situation, or if there was an animal at the pet store that we were told was unadoptable because it had an attitude problem, or we were at the reptile store and they were like, yeah, we had this snake has come back to us 4 times for aggression issues. We were like, we will take it. Let us bring it home. We want all of the problem children. Which is how we kept ending up with asshole animals. And I loved every single one of them. I really, truly did. Oh, we also had 5, what are those stupid lizards that everyone has?
The leopard geckos?
No, we had one of those. No, we had 5. I can't remember the name of them right now. Why can't I remember the name of them?
Komodo dragons?
Bearded dragons.
Bearded dragons, thank you. Because those were all rescues. And I just remember I have purchased 2 snakes in my life. Both of them I purchased because when I went to the store, they were super aggressive. And the store owner was like, we're having a really hard time homing them because they're aggressive. Both of them I got home, and they were the derpiest, stupidest snakes I have ever seen in my life. They just weren't happy at the reptile store because there were too many other reptiles. But when I got them home, they were like, I would happily just sit in your hair and watch TV and be stupid. And I loved them. I had
Big dumb babies.
I had a Brazilian rainbow boa named Bellatrix the snake, and I had a
Bellatrix the snake.
and I had a ghost pinstripe ball python named Beetlejuice because he was a ghost pinstripe.
You gave them the best names, though.
Well, in contrast, we did have 3 regular ball pythons that I did not get to name, who we inherited from a friend that moved to California, named Big, Little, and Tiny, because so good at naming, my roommates are.
It's disappointing that it's not big, little, and medium.
Right?
My friend has a cat named regular sized Alfred.
I love that.
Like that's she literally adopted this cat because his name was regular sized Alfred. No other reason. Just
nothing makes me happier than shelters who name the animals at them the dumbest things. Like, yes, please name this rescue cat Office Max.
So, like, the only time it bothers me is that, like, we've had pets because previously when I lived with Rob and I lived with our friend, she worked for an animal rescue, but there were times where the rescue would straight up require the manager to, like, turn dogs into the shelter. And I was like, well, that seems like the opposite purpose of, a rescue, but go off, I guess. I don't really know how this shit works. We gave one dog the name Moose. I named him because he was a big ass dog, and I was just like, well, the first time I saw him, because my friend would not tell us all the time when we were expecting a new dog. Mm-hmm. So the dog just appeared, and I was like, whose fucking Moose is this? His name was Moose. They renamed him, like, I can't remember what the name is. It'll come to me later. But they renamed him, and it was stupid. And I was just like, wow. See, you could have just left him Moose.
I like dumb names for animals, but I don't like it when animals have people names that don't fit animals. Like Max is a great people name, but it is also a great dog name. Susan is not a dog name.
If you name your dog Susan, I'm going to make fun of you until the day that dog dies, and they can live for 20 plus years.
My parents adopted a dog, and when they adopted it, the dog's name was Susan. We immediately changed it to Scout because Susan is not a dog name.
Okay, but Susan as a dog's name is so funny.
Susan!
I know somebody who named their dog Karen because the dog is an asshole.
Meanwhile, I'm over here like, this is our ferret, Stinky Noodle. This is our turtle, Dr. Professor Turtle. He has a doctorate in being an asshole. I
told you that Todoroki was named after Shadow Todoroki from My Hero Academia. Melly's full name is actually Watermelon Tiabini Alexandria Velez.
I love it.
She has a full name. Her name is Watermelon because when we went to adopt her, they said her name was Watermelon. And one of the first questions that I asked, like, we were sitting there playing with her. She was such a sweet girl. And then I turned and I looked at one of the people that works at the shelter, because the shelter almost always changes their names.
Yeah.
I looked at them and was just like, whose bright fucking idea was it to name this big ass black pit mix Watermelon? Never got an answer.
See, my cat's name is Suki St. James. named after Suki from Gilmore Girls, because my cat's first thing that she did upon entering my home was run directly into 3 walls, a bookshelf, and then knocked over everything on the countertop, and then sprang up as if she was perfectly fine. And I was like, well,
Dude, Melly can't turn a circle in an open room. Neither Melly nor Todoroki can turn a circle
nice.
in an open field without hitting their head on something. Like, it doesn't matter if there's nothing to hit their heads on; they will find it.
They will
and
make
they
it
will
happen.
Bonk it.
Ugh. All right. Well, it is 9:01. So,
Yeah, I was going to suggest that we wrap at the end of this day.
Okay, because it's 8:50 p. I'm gonna sneeze.
bless you.
Oh, it went back. It went back up.
It's because I said bless you before you sneeze.
That's so uncomfy. That's so uncomfy.
So while the day is wrapping up in Stardew, again, just to recap, expect so much suppression for at least probably another 2 weeks would be my guess.
At least until September 11th is in how many weeks? It's in like a week and a half?
Yeah.
9 days.
Yeah.
So September 11th is in 9 days. Expect like maxed out suppression then.
Yeah. But otherwise, yeah. That's all I got. I don't have much this week. I don't think there's been any there may be an issue with captions. Some people are missing their captions suddenly. But it does look like the people who have been experiencing that either recently updated their app or there's been like other glitchy things happening, which means they're probably just fucking around on the back end.
Yeah. There's also been a glitch where TikTok will display that somebody is following you, especially a very large account.
Mm-hmm.
But if you actually click on their username and check, they're not following you.
Oh, I love it when those calls aren't working.
Yeah, we've seen the opposite glitch for a long time, that TikTok will show you as not following people you are following.
Yeah.
That's mood. That happens to me all the fucking time.
Fortunately, we have been able to figure out that, like, from all the evidence we can find, that that effect is a graphical error. It's like failing to correctly identify which like badge to show you, not actually unfollowing people.
Right.
But still bad.
Still
Still terrible design.
Yeah, it's still aggravating. Oopsie.
But yeah, definitely check out our Discord if you are interested in more stuff about the app, and you can also find us on Patreon if you would like to support us in a more monetary way, but please do not feel like you are required. Those aren't dues quite yet. And that's all I got.
I mean, the Patreon's never, like, Patreon as a platform is never going to be how we handle dues.
True. But
my singular statements are Stardew Valley is the tits and Drake Bell is a terrible person.
That's a good note to end on, I think.
Bye, everybody.
He is. Bye, guys.